As Gary Porter says, so many factors involved. As we take a look at the semifinal matchup, Bigfoot and the Outlaw, and then Taurus, the fast loser, goes up against the Carolina Crusher. The two winners will meet for the championship. Andy Brass, St. Louis, Missouri, Bigfoot #8. The entire Bigfoot family, I think, is here this weekend in Indianapolis.
You know, that's an interesting point. They are. As part of this jamboree, the people bought a ticket. They not only get to see monster truck racing and custom truck displays, Bob Chandler brought all the Bigfoot trucks over, but this is the one they're all looking at right now, and he's got problems.
Oh,
and
yes.
Nick Rossi's going to the next round.
Nick Rossi, the Outlaw, he has some trouble on his landing.
Well, any
something
landing you can walk away from is a good landing, and that's proof of it right there. And Rossi, I tell you, what happened was front-wheel drive only. Watch the dirt get kicked up on the starting line. Rossi doesn't worry about it. He's driving his own race. He has no idea where Andy Brass is. He's got tunnel vision. He's looking at one thing, the finish line.
Well, Andy Brass climbs out of Bigfoot. There was a mechanical problem there, and he takes a look at the rear drive. You were right. They only had front-wheel drive. They're looking down there at the transfer case right now, so Bigfoot out of competition. But here's your winner, Nick Rossi.
Nick, when you came into the pit area, a lot of guys just kind of thought you were playing. But it's final time, and you're going to be in the final. You get real serious when you get up in that big truck, don't you?
Yeah, it's a completely different ball game when you get to the line. Everybody's friends in the pit, but it's blood and guts at the line.
So Rossi now will watch Gary Porter in the Carolina Crusher as he faces off against Taurus. Taurus with Eldon Depew out of Granite City was the fast loser in our last round.
Both of these drivers have one thing in common. They've both been beat on the lights today. Neither one wants it to happen twice. Here we go.
Good start for both, but right now it's Gary Porter. He powers out. Eldon dips the front end going over that second set of cars, and Gary Porter in the Chevrolet, the Carolina Crusher, sponsored by Big A Auto Part, takes the victory. So we will have a Ford and a Chevrolet in the championship shootout here at Indianapolis.
Look at that nose-over attitude of Taurus. Now, he says that's an easy truck to drive. I don't know, Gary. His idea of easy and mine could be two completely different things.
Well, there's a look at Gary Porter. He will be in the championship against Nick Rossi. We're coming back for one more pass. From the Indiana State Fairgrounds in Indianapolis, it's the four-wheel and off-road Jamboree Fall Nationals. And Army, as you said earlier, these Jamborees are more than just great monster truck racing. We have the show and shine, the manufacturer's midway, something for everybody. So if you'd like some more information about these great trucking events, call or write the Special Events Company, located right here in Indianapolis. A good crowd, an enthusiastic crowd. And Army, your thoughts on the finals?
Well, Gary, as it has happened so many times this year, the two major manufacturers wind up in the final. Chevrolet is going to be represented by the Tar Heel State, the Carolina Crusher, Gary Porter. New truck, new idea, new concept. Could be the guy to watch. He does have lane choice. But the Ford camp is going to be represented by a guy that came into this thing, and really nobody thought he was going to be a player. Nick Rossi goes back in the driver's seat out of New Jersey, and it's going to the final for the Ford camp. It's going to be a good one. Let's watch it.
Nick Rossi in the Ford, Gary Porter in the Chevrolet. The fans are ready for the final championship run here in Indianapolis. And there is a look at the Outlaw, Nick Rossi, and look at those steel blue eyes.
You know, I guarantee you, under that helmet, he's got the war paint on.
Gary Porter in the Big A Auto Parts Carolina Crusher. That's the Chevrolet, as they stage the two monster trucks for the final shootout here in the infield of the famed Indiana State Fairgrounds Mile Dirt Oval.
Well, this place has seen a lot of great racing. We're at final time for the monster truck section now, Gary.
Both trucks are staged. They watch the Christmas tree. Indication both drivers are ready.
They both lead good. First jump, Rossi's out a little bit. Porter's
Once again, it's the horsepower of the Carolina Crusher.
Boy, Nick Rossi was a player till half track.
He had the reaction time, but Gary Porter had the horsepower.
That was a good race. These people in this part of the country, they're used to seeing good racing. Well, the monsters didn't let him down. What it was, Rossi didn't get as high in the air, see, and that let him get the horsepower back to the ground quick for the first half of the race, Gary.
But after that, it was all Gary Porter. He takes the victory, and he's down there with Armstrong.
Gary, these victories, they don't get any easier the further we go into this thing, do they?
They don't. I mean, the competition out here gets tougher and tougher, and you have to keep on improving, putting new parts. And, you know, I like to thank Big A Auto Parts, my brother's four-wheel drive shop, and all the friends back home for helping me, because if it wasn't for them, I couldn't do it.
You're basically a privateer in the sport, but still have a lot of people have to be helping you, don't they?
That's right. You know, most of the time out here at the races, I'll come by myself for the weekend, but back home, you know, I got some of the greatest guys there are in the world back home helping me. You know, my brother, you know, he helps me, you know, a lot of time after hours in the store, and if it wasn't for them, there's no way I could do it.
We're very proud of you. Congratulations.
Okay, thank you.
That's right, Army. Congratulations to Gary Porter as we take a look at the aftermath of the Outlaw, dripping some transmission fluid there. Well, that wraps it up from the Indiana State Fairgrounds here in Indianapolis. For Army Armstrong, I'm Gary Lee. Thanks for joining us. Join us next week for another edition of Trucks and Tractor Power. Now stay tuned for exciting news about a new home video release from Diamond P Sports.